Hey everyone, we are going to start deep diving into Willow's gut health issues and how it actually affected her behavior. And she has been reactive for the last 3 years, and we're finally now making progress. So, we're going to do a little deep dive. This will probably be a couple videos long because I don't want to make each video too terribly long. So, I'm thinking today we'll just start from the time I got her till she was 1 year old. She's 3 years old now, so it won't be too many videos. So this has been a crazy journey and a crazy learning experience for me. I never thought I'd be going down this path of gut health, but now that we've been through everything we've been through, I can say I am happy because this stuff has been actually really cool to learn about, and I think it could help people. So that is why I'm going to share Willow's journey. So here goes. So I got Willow when she was 8 weeks old, and she was your typical puppy, just cute, running around, play with toys, didn't really seem to have a care in the world. My sister and niece could come over, and she was fine with them. She'd go up to them, let them pet her and whatnot. So 8 weeks and 9 weeks old, she was cool as a cucumber. And then 10 weeks came, and it was like a flip switch. Like, I just had a different dog suddenly. She would start reacting to like garden statues. If a toy had been misplaced, it was like she would look at it as if she didn't even recognize it, and she'd be very suspicious. Now suddenly she didn't trust my sister at all, and she would go nowhere near my niece. In fact, she would bark at them. And of course, it sucks when your dog starts acting like that. And I had realized that dogs go through fear periods. So initially, I wasn't too worried. I just thought, she's going through a fear period. No problem. We can work this out. I even made a YouTube video at that time, just as a reminder, like, hey guys, if you have a puppy and, they're starting to act a little weird, don't forget, they could be experiencing a fear period and blah, 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 blah. So that's how confident I was that things were going to turn around back then. So I worked with her, we did training. I would still take her out places. I didn't flood her with anything she was nervous about. We took things slow. I tried to give her positive experiences and whatnot. It just never seemed to go away. In fact, she was getting more and more fearful. And I don't know, at the time she was still getting her puppy vaccines. I know that's kind of like political in the dog world. I don't know if vaccines could play a part in messing with the microbiome. I don't know. It's just thoughts that I have because I still don't understand quite what switched in her. So anyways, I would take her out places, and instead of just being fearful and like kind of on alert looking around, now all of a sudden she's starting to show signs of reactivity. So I would take her out on like just short little walks in the neighborhood, and she started barking and lunging at mailboxes and fire hydrants. That was a thing for a while. That really freaked me out because then I thought, oh man, we're in big trouble. I've never had a dog act this way before. Like, what is going on? They're inanimate objects, So if she's acting that way, imagine how she would act when she saw a person outside. And it didn't matter at this point the distance. The person could be a block away. If she saw that person moving, game over. She would lose her mind, barking and lunging. We'd have to walk away. So people and other dogs, totally off limits. Absolutely cannot work around them at all. She just could not focus. At this point, I was still kind of in denial about like how bad it was because I have another Chihuahua named Bella. I got her in November of 2019. So that was right before the pandemic hit. So once the pandemic started, she was still a puppy, and I didn't take her out anywhere. So probably in like 2021. That's when I was finally like, okay, enough's enough. Like, we got to start getting out. And that was a whole thing with her, introducing her to the world. You know, she would bark and get scared, and we were able to work through that and make progress. So I was just kind of thinking about like all the things I had gone through with Bella and how we trained. And so I thought, okay, no big deal. I've been through this before with Bella. I can do it again with Willow. Well, not really, because it took us 3 years to get to this point. But I was still very hopeful at the time. So, you know, we did a lot of training. You know, in the neighborhood, I like to go to big parks and big stores, you know, where there can be lots of space and we can watch and observe. And she made enough progress that she wasn't barking and lunging at the mailboxes and the fire hydrants anymore, but people and dogs, that was still a huge issue at this point. Also around this time, I became a member of a dog training club. So I thought, okay, it wouldn't hurt. Maybe let's get her in a puppy class. Maybe I can learn something new. And like with consistent training, like we keep showing up to this place, keep doing the training, like she'll get in a routine, she'll get more confident, and we'll be good. We'll be on our way. Well, she was around 9 weeks old at this point. Or I'm sorry, she was around 9 months old at this point. And the puppy class was very hard. She was awful to take, honestly. It was very stressful. She would just lunge at everyone, like very aggressive. I thought maybe if she was around another small dog puppy, she would feel more confident because she likes all the small dogs in our house. From day one, she's always liked them. She doesn't like anybody. Side note, actually, she does have a couple of friends outside of the house, but back then, just forget it. Like, there is no other little dog at a puppy class that you're gonna like. It's just not gonna happen. I would always position us somewhere where if I needed to walk her away real quick, I could. Stuff like that. But oftentimes in a puppy class, we'd have to leave the building and actually go outside and take a break. We did not finish that puppy class because she went into heat. So we went through that whole thing. And then once she was over her heat cycle, I signed her up for the next class. And it was the same story again, really bad reactivity. And that's when I finally came to my senses and realized this is not a good environment for her at all. She's not going to make any progress, and it's not good for her, and it's not good for anybody else having to train around us. So I ended up dropping us out of the second puppy class. And up at this point, she is just shy of a year. She's probably around 11 months old, 10, 11 months old. At this point, I decide to just take a step back, not take her to any more training classes, do training at home, and once again, just keep going to parks and big stores and stuff like that, and just take it really, really slow. I do a Susan Garrett program. It's called Recallers. All of my dogs have loved that. So I started working the games with Willow, and she really likes doing them. So I would try to apply them, you know, when we go out and about. It was still really, really hard for her. At this point, we had more issues going on in the house as well. She started to resource guard against some of the other dogs, never against people. I could take toys and treats away from her all day. She doesn't do anything to people, it's just other dogs. I also noticed she would be a little more hyper vigilant than the other dogs, always just ears up, just like on alert constantly, even when we're in the house. So that was no good. She would just start to bark at things either outside or inside, and I couldn't figure it out. There were times where I would kind of follow her around the house thinking, okay, what is spooking you? And I have no clue, and the other dogs weren't barking or reacting either. So I have no idea what she was seeing or hearing or smelling. Some other things I noticed when it was like summer and hot out, she always seemed to be a little more heat intolerant than the other dogs. She always kind of pooped out a little faster. She'd always drink more water than the other dogs as well. And then also at night, she likes to sleep in bed with me. And at this point now, she's starting to get a little bit cranky in bed. You know, heaven forbid I move a little bit, I'd be hearing it from her. She'd be growling at me. This was not an every night occurrence, so no, I did not kick her off the bed. I know a lot of people would probably say to Crater, I'm a total sucker, so I just let her stay in bed with me. So that's about it for this first video. So the first year of her life and living with me, just 2 weeks of cute puppy stage, and then after that, she just got really fearful and anxious, and it very quickly turned into reactivity. I should also note at this point, she was eating the puppy food kibble that came with her from the breeder. Now at this point of her life, she's eating Purina Pro Plan, which is what I had all of my dogs on at the time. So that's what the nutrition is looking like. And at this point, I wasn't thinking anything remotely close to nutrition being an issue. So we still have a ways to go until I finally come to this conclusion. So stay tuned for the next video, and we'll cover some more of how Willow's behaving and things I've tried, and tests that we've done at the vet clinic and things like that. So I'll see you guys in part 2.